Hi friends, Naji here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will be discussing on 5 caching strategies in databases. So this is based on the blog in Level Up Coding. So here, in this 5 strategy, we can divide into two categories. One is the read based and other one is the write based. So first we can look into two read based cache strategy. One is cache aside. So let's have a look on this particular diagram. Here we can see we have an application. So what happens if something is needed from the database, the application will first go to the cache. So if it is there available, the data is there in the cache, it will get it from the cache and it will show in the application, or it will use that in the application. If it is misses, it will go to the database, then it will return from the data will be shown in the application, then again the application will push the data into the cache. So that is how the cache asset work. And the advantage of this kind of a architecture is like it will only necessary data will be there in the cache. So the infrequent data will not be there in the cache. But one of the difficult part is, or one of the disadvantages, the application has to handle some extra logic, right? Writing to cache and all those things have to be handled in the application state, in the application. The second read based architecture is read through. So from the architecture, from the diagram itself is very clear, right? First it will read from the cache, and if it is not in the cache, it will go to the database. Okay, so this is a little bit more simpler than the previous one, because it is first it will go to the cache, and if it is not there, it will go to the databases. So another three method, that is the another one is based on the write mechanism. So in the write mechanism, for the first one is write through. Okay, so in the write through, what happen is that whenever application is write to the application, it will first write to the cache, then it will immediately write to the database. So one of the difficulty or one of the drawbacks with this kind of a architecture or this kind of a strategy is all the data will be there in the cache. Even if it is not frequently used data also will be there in the cache, which is kind of a overhead for the cache. And the writing process is little difficult, because first it has to write into the cache, then it has to write into the database. So there will be a slight delay in the writing process. So this will not be or may not be recommended the write friendly applications. So if you have like a very frequent write to the database, then this may not be recommended, because there is always a write delay will be there. Okay, so next is write behind. Okay, so write behind, so this is similar to the write through, but there is one difference. The write to the database will happen asynchronously. Okay, so first it will write to the cache, then after some times or at least asynchronously it will update to the database. So this is a good method for those applications which is like the synchronization is not needed. For example, writing to a log, right? So writing to a log can be delayed little bit, but there is one challenge with this kind of architecture, because if something happened to the cache before the syncing to the database, then we will lose the data. So you have to be like take care of this kind of a critical stage situations also. Okay, so the another method is that is write around. So in the write around, what happened is that first it will write to the database. Okay, so whenever we need to read from it, first it will go to the cache, then it will read from the cache. If something is not in the cache, then it will fetch from the data or fetch from the database, then it will update to the cache. So these are the 5 methods with respect to database caching strategy. So we can combine like read and write strategy, and we can create our own strategy that is best suited for our need. So that is there is no best one and there is no bad one here in this strategy. So everything is based on our requirement. So please discuss and think through before you implement this. So that's all about in this video. Please do like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye bye.